Welcome to Sam's Russian Adventures. My name's Sam, an English guy living in provincial Russia, in the provincial city of Vladimir. It's beautiful outside right now, so I thought I'd go for a little bit of a walk around this area. Now, this entire area was built by German prisoners of war after World War II. I don't know if you've seen the famous march where they marched millions of German prisoners of war through Moscow. You can have a look at it here.
These are the German conquerors, the men Hitler once promised a place in the victory parade through Moscow. Now his promises come true, but not as he intended. The display is under Russian management. Their destination is not glory, but a prison camp. While this unkempt mob shuffles by, the Muscovites remain impassive. They show their contempt by silence, as 19 captured German generals slouch along at the head of their broken armies for the last time.
But then those prisoners of war got divided amongst the different cities to basically rebuild Russia. And so the Germans built this whole area here. Now you'll see lots of different types of architecture in Russia, but when you see these 3 or 4 story buildings, they were built by German prisoners of war. Amongst the millions of German prisoners of war, there was architects, and so they grabbed these architects and said, right, you design the houses, and the rest of them you can build the houses. And this whole area here was built between 1945 and I think within 10 years almost all Germans were returned to Germany, apart from a few who actually decided that they wanted to stay. So these German buildings are famous for their beautiful little balconies. What do you think of the balconies? This one's been Russified. Go for a little walk down here. It's much nicer when everything's green like it is now. Now I'm sure lots of people know the history. The older people know the history about these buildings. They were probably taught it by their parents, but whether they want to speak to a foreigner with a camera or not, different story altogether. Actually, it's very interesting when I'm walking down the street just with the camera held by my side, not even filming. You see people notice the camera and it's like they've seen something like it's the worst thing they've ever seen in their lives, and they just look at you and change direction and run across the road.
Молодые, мы уже этого не знаем, это наши родители знают.
Ну понятно. Но вы знаете больше, чем я, все равно, наверное.
Нет, ну мы в этот район приехали уже. Времена войны мы не знаем.
Ну понятно, ладно, хорошо.
Ну, строился он в 50-х годах, этот район, вместе с тракторным заводом.
Now it's actually a very nice kind of quiet area to live. In the daytime there's people walking around, but it's actually very nice here. Unfortunately, the people that live here are very suspicious. That's just kind of how it is.
Я знаю, что не строили, когда были плену. Но что не делали, как что там, я не в курсе.
Ладно, хорошо. So the Germans built all the houses down the side of this road, and this road is called Tractor Street because at the end of the road there was a huge tractor factory, and the people that would have lived inside these buildings are the employees of the tractor factory, obviously. But unfortunately, the tractor factory is no more. One thing you notice is there's lots of green spaces but really bad parking, and that's because, well, when it was built no one really had any cars, and everyone was walking around, and that's why there's loads of green spaces to walk around in but nowhere to park. Any guesses for what this says? I'm sure you'll know. Now I've walked around this place in winter and it's pretty depressing here, but in summer it's actually not that bad. So you'll see that most of these houses came with a bit of land that people could use to grow things. Not that they're being used to grow things much anymore. The quality may now not look as good, but these are really good quality houses. Check out this bad boy machine. That's sick. Now, I'm going to be honest, look, we've got a Lexus over there. It's not like a bad area with bad cars. Now at one point it would have been absolutely incredible here, absolutely amazing, when all of these areas here were looked after better. Oh, we've got a cat in the window. Should we go and say hello to the cat? Привет, привет. I think these areas here have so much romance about them. What do you think? I wonder if this swing has the Soviet creek or not. No Soviet creek. It looks like it's been a while since anybody used the sand pit. And this swing, well, this looks like a dangerous swing to swing on. I think they're so romantic here. Now, obviously, they're in a state of disrepair at the moment. But I'm not filming this to show you that it's in a state of disrepair. I'm just showing you the buildings and the area that was built by the fascists. Look at the arc here. You see, these buildings weren't just built quickly. These buildings were built with a bit of romanticism in mind. Imagine having these pipes running down your street carrying the hot water. Now eventually this whole area will get knocked down, and it's a shame, right? But that's just life. Things outgrow their sell-by date, I guess, and eventually they get knocked down and get replaced. And that's just the case in anywhere, in any place in the world, right? The water pipes, water as British say, the water pipes look a bit crazy, don't they? Imagine what it would have been like in the Soviet Union in the heyday, when all of this was manicured and these swings were being used by the local kids. So opposite this one, look, we've got this one, which seems to have been completely renovated. All the windows are brand new. And in the old days, people would have kept the equipment that they could have used and the animals that they could have had in here, look. Now, I personally think that it looks worse now. Obviously, it looks nicer, but it's lost its romanticism, hasn't it? Whoa! This car is ruining my video. I need an old Lada to be here so I can make the video look horrible, and this is cool infinity here instead. Ah! So if we look inside the gardens, and I can't go in because it's locked, but we've got really nice gardens here. We've got a little area here that people, I guess, sit in summer and make barbecues, and a bit of a playground over there. You need to close your eyes and imagine what it would have been like in its heyday. Add a bit of colour to it. Now I'm going to do a bit of trespassing, just jump over this fence, so should I say, hedge hopping. We used to call it garden creeping back in the UK. If you're from the UK you might know. And look what we've got here. We've got a witch. Is it Baba Yaga? And look here, this whole side's being repainted by this dude up there. So it shows that these houses are being looked after, at least slowly. I've seen that this doorway is open and obviously doing lots of work inside, so let's go and have a look inside, see what it looks like inside. Hopefully it's not going to get demolished while I'm in here. It just looks like a pretty standard house, nothing really different. There you go. Now I guess people will expect that the German soldiers, the prisoners of war, were treated really badly in the Soviet Union, but they weren't. Apparently they were treated really nicely. To start with, there was a lot of hate towards them, but then people realized that soldiers are soldiers. They were sent by their leader to go and fight. It wasn't their decision. And a lot of the German soldiers actually decided to stay here. They got married and stayed here, and that's why we have quite a few German surnames in Russian. I think with a bit of work, these areas here could look really nice. So look, we've got a basketball hoop. I guess someone that was way too overweight tried to dunk here and failed. This guy here is just chilling out playing basketball. Опа, молодец, молодец. Извините, пожалуйста, можно вопрос? Меня зовут Сэм, я здесь живу 20 лет в России, да, во Владимире именно. И вот я недавно узнал, что это район строили фашистов, да, после войны. А вы что?
Эти дома строили.
Did you see that? That's what I've got to deal with. It's very difficult. Yeah, they hear the accent and straight away they're like, nah, walking away from that one. Wow, what a cool courtyard this is. And again, just to show you that I'm not only filming the Russian cars, we've got another Lexus here. So let's have a look at the notice board. We've got, this is a removal place, removal like moving house or whatever. This is someone that can help you to do refurbishments, remove the old, put the new in, take away the rubbish. Here we've got an electrician, call if you've got a problem with the electrics. Here we've got a person, it's kind of a master of all trades. It's like remove your furniture, deconstruct your house, plumbing, all that kind of stuff, electric. So judging by the notice board, a lot of people are moving or they're repairing the old and, you know, putting a new, what's the word? I forget all English words so bad, but you understand what I mean. Here we've got some sort of mobile van, I don't know what it is. Let's have a look in a minute. I'm getting dirty looks by a lady.
А как вас зовут? У вас вообще какое-то право есть вот так вести себя? Да.
Да, это называется, закон Российской Федерации, что я имею право снимать на улице в любое общественное место. It's very difficult sometimes like that. I turned the camera off and I spoke to the lady for a few minutes just talking about who I was and why I'm filming, and she just refused to accept it. Just completely point blank refused to accept it. She was angry that I'm filming on the street, that I'm filming outside. She just refused to even acknowledge that I could be allowed to do it. And that's the way it is sometimes. It would be hard to imagine all of these German prisoners of war that were just shipped in every day to build all these houses. This would have been a mass building site. The houses go way down this road. There's probably a good 50, perhaps even 100 of them, all built by German prisoners of war. And they were all housed in, it's not like a prison, but I guess a prisoner of war camp, right? And they were looked after and made sure that no one was going to escape. And then every day they would have been brought here to build and build and build and build and build.